Well, I'm stuck on this family thing. Family. What family?
Like it's the mob.
Yeah. Or the gay mafia is
He's operating the business like it's the mob.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to get into that because that is true. There is a gay mafia in this business. So I'm telling him, he's like, if you want your projects to be greenlit, you will obey my rules and you will do everything that I tell you to do. You want to be successful, don't you? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And then he's basically, he asked me, did Brian leave a gift inside of me during a rape? And I'm like, a gift inside of me, and that basically means that he ejaculated inside of you. Because to them, when they ejaculate inside of you, you become like their property. They feel like they own you.
Yes.
Like they branded you.
Which is also it's a form. I believe they get that from. Oh, you still there? They get from Anton Levin.
Which I didn't understand at the time.
Yeah.
So
okay.
So I'm very nervous about how the meeting is moving forward. So I'm trying to get out of the car. The car's not opening. Why isn't the door opening? It's on the safety lock. So I'm slapped for trying to get out of his car and told to not disobey him. And he's grabbing at me, rubbing on my thighs.
What stopped you from beating him up at that point? Because I know physically you're stronger than him. What stopped you at that point from physically retaliating?
You have to put yourself in that position where it's like, this man is a billionaire. He runs the entire industry. How's it going to look if the cops are called? And you have this boy of color, because they didn't know what I was at the time. Both of my parents are mixed. And to them, you're exotic and all to them, but you're still black to them. And when the police arrive, what are they going to see? A white man assaulted by a quote-unquote black man.
And a very elderly white man assaulted.
Exactly.
And nobody would believe your story on what he did. Yeah.
Exactly. So I'm also frozen because this is the second time I'm assaulted under the same company, but this is the second time I'm assaulted ever. I'm shell-shocked. I can't believe this old man is touching me, and his hands are cold and very rough, and his driver is standing right outside the car. So I'm like, okay, this is a pattern of behavior. Clearly everybody's on payroll to make sure that this man is able to sexually assault whoever he wants, and they'll cover. And then I'm also thinking, at the time, this man has somebody right outside the car that's a witness for him. Who's going to say that this man sexually touched me or physically abused me? Who's going to back me if nobody can see it?
Nobody.
So all those things are going through my head, and I'm in shock because I didn't think that the meeting was going to go south the way it did. So he's telling me, you want to be successful, then allow the sexual assault to occur, basically. That's what he's saying without saying it. So he's removing my pants and my briefs and pulling them, to I want to say below my knees, and he's rubbing my penis and my testicles, and he's telling me, he's giving me compliments and telling me I have the perfect Jewish dick because he knew that I'm partly Jewish. And
So what does that mean for the people that don't quite get that?
So for people who have been with Jewish men, basically most of them are packing. It's a good size. It's wide as well. It's circumcised. It's like a sausage, to be honest. So and I only say that because I've been told that by other people in this lawsuit. So that is where I finally understood. That's where I started to understand what that meant. So he's telling me that, and he's spitting on me, and I'm in shock. This man is in his 80s. How can you still be doing this in your 80s?
Right.
So he's massaging me. He's wanting me to get hard, and he's enjoying it. And he's telling me you're going to meet somebody very soon, and you will do what this person tells you to do if you want to be allowed back at the studio, is what he's basically telling me. And I'm like, okay, so this is basically a sex ring that they're running at this studio. And all these other actors and producers at this studio must have gone through the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they're not amateurs at this at all.
Exactly. So I feel very violated, and he finally finished assaulting me, and he like lets me go, and he alerts his driver to unlock the door. So I'm being told to get out of the car, and he's telling me basically you will allow this to continue. Like I said, if you want your projects greenlit and you want to be allowed back at this studio, and before I can even like fully put back on my pants and button up, I'm being pushed out of the car. So I'm fixing my attire in front of security, like security outside of like near the gate. There's security for you to enter the studio. So this security is looking at me like he's used to seeing this. My manager and my friend are also seeing me walk back to them, walk towards them, fixing myself. They can pretty much pinpoint like what happened in the car, but I eventually told them because once I arrived to them, I'm like in tears. Yeah. And yeah, so it's like, okay, I'm being assaulted by the head of the studio. Who do I tell? And then my manager, yes, he's there for me, but my manager is also banking on me becoming a big success because that means more money for him.
So literally nobody cared.
Nobody cared. And then I remember reporting this to Reno Logan, the guy who brought me into Paramount. And Reno's like, you should be happy he chose you. You should just go along with what's going on and be happy and thankful that you're here.
And be a prostitute.
Basically, exactly. So I'm like at a loss for words. I went into depression that night, actually. I did contemplate suicide. It was a dark day for me because, like I said, it was the second time being assaulted ever, but it was by the same company. And I actually, like I said, I told this man, another person under you sexually assaulted me, and he didn't care. And it made me think about when I was younger. Like I said, I told one person, my teacher, and she pretended to care, but then those were threats used against me. So nobody is caring.
Every time you open up to somebody, they use it against you later.
Exactly. And it also reminded me of, I also went to the police, the first rape in 2006. I went 3 to 4 months after the rape because I didn't go when I was exactly 17 because my parents would have found out.
Yes.
And and I didn't seek medical attention either because my parents would have been there and they would have discovered what happened. So I go to the cops finally when I'm 18 and I tell them, look, Brian Graydon, he's a producer in Hollywood. He raped me. And it happened in his home. He gave me liquor and he raped me. Do you know the cop said, the detective, or no, that's not a detective. When you actually go to the police station, you have to interview with the person in front before you get back to a detective.
Yeah, whoever.
Right. So he tells me a man cannot rape another man. Why are you wasting my time? You're trying to tell me a man raped you. You're a man. A man can't rape you. No one cares. I have other people with serious problems. Can you please move out of the way and let somebody else come up to my desk? So I'm like, okay.
What police department was this?
Hollywood.
Hollywood police.
So they did nothing. And
which basically means they're paid.
Exactly.
By the same studios, the same mafia. Okay.
And years later, I did discover that police station actually reached out to Brian Graydon and told him. Because when he re-entered my life years later, he told me, I was warned that you actually went to the police station. And that's when I was like, okay, so the police department works with the industry.
Yeah, it's all one big, especially in Hollywood, because they know in order to be able to pull this off, we have to have the police on our side. You know what? That would also explain how whenever celebrities like get arrested, go through something, is how the tabloids in Hollywood get it first.
Exactly.
Same thing with the hospitals. They will be reporting that to the. It's like one big ring, just one big abyss of.
There's always somebody on payroll, always, everywhere. Which takes me back to you breaking the exclusive with my new lawsuit. Every media outlet has this lawsuit. I've been reached out to. I got a call the following day from two very big publications saying that they had the lawsuit. And one publication actually pumped me for information saying, how do you think it's going to be better for you the second time around? And I'm thinking, okay, this person is about to publish my lawsuit and finally give me press. Positive press, because the previous press was not positive.
Right.
So he's pumping me for information, and come to find out, he didn't ask me the information to print it. He asked me this information for personal use. So who are you giving this information